Today, we will see something new called joins in SQL. Now, join, it is actually a very interesting, easy topic. From the word itself, you can understand what do you mean by join. Join means combining, or I can say join itself. You can combine or join the fields in tables. In how many tables? Yeah, in any number of tables. Let's say you have more than 2 tables, 2 or more. Okay, you can combine the tables. You can do a combining of the various fields of the table using join. Now, you cannot simply combine any table. You can combine tables only if they are related, or I can say there exists a relationship between the tables. Only tables which are related or have a relationship. What kind of a relationship? Very simple. When you talk about relationships in tables, it is always a primary key, foreign key relationship. So if 2 or more tables are connected via a primary key, foreign key relationship, you can combine or join the table using a keyword called join in SQL. Now, when you talk about joins in SQL, there are several kinds of joins. You see, there is a join called a natural join, inner join, and outer join. You even have self joins. Anyway, we will be concentrating on these 3 kinds of joins: natural join, inner join, and outer join. So we'll go one by one. The first join we'll see is natural join. What do you mean by a natural join? Natural join, it is even simply called as join. We either call it natural join or join. Now let's say I do have 2 tables called A and B. Okay, I can combine these 2 tables. Now I'll show you how you can combine them. Now, let's say you have 2 tables. You have a table called A and you have a table called B. They are interconnected. They are interconnected through what? They are interconnected through their primary key, foreign key. And that interconnection, those common things, the common things like DID, that is what is this A intersection B. This common portion is that. Now let's see, what do you mean by a natural join? Now, natural join means all the portions which you see in this blue color. Like, you have the only A portion, you have the only B portion, and even the A intersection B portion. So all this, the natural join or the content when you have a normal Venn diagram, both the portions of A and B together, you call it a natural join. Now, let's see how you write it with the help of a query. Now, this is how you write a query. Select, I'll write my query over here. Select, for the time being, let's do star. Select star from, you have 2 tables, A and B. You are planning to do a natural join between both these tables. So you write select star natural join B. Okay, select star from A natural join. Even though you write simply join or natural join, it is one and the same. So this is how you do a natural join. Now let's do it with the help of a table. Now look here, I've got 2 tables over here. I've got a department table where DID is the primary key. I have name and budget. I even have PID over a table called teacher1, where PID is the primary key, and then I even have DID. Now look here, these 2 tables are connected through what? Through the primary key, which is the foreign key over here. So now these are my tables, DEPT1 and teacher1. So let's write a query to join these 2 tables. So I'll write over here, select star from DEPT1 natural join teacher 1. Let's see what happens. Let us see what happens. I'll copy this. We'll put it that side. I pasted the query over here, selected star from department 1, natural join teacher 1. Now let's see how the output comes. If you remember, DID is the primary key, DID is the foreign key. These two tables, my department table and my teacher 1 table, they are connected with a common field called DID. So when you do a natural join, the first field which comes is your common field. Which is the common field over here? Through which field are you doing the connection? You are doing the connection between the tables through DID. You need not tell which field the connection is made. Or your Oracle, the SQL, it will automatically take the key. It will automatically find through which field your table is connected. So now here they've automatically found it out that your table is connected through DID. So, I have my DID over here. That is the common thing. That is the first field. Now, on the left side, what do I have? I do have my department table. Okay. So all the fields of department are taken. D name, DID is common. So I already have it in the beginning. Then I have my D name. And then I do have my D budget. So that table is over. Then I have my next table, teacher table. Okay, on to the right, I have my teacher table. So I now start to write entries from my teacher table. Let's start again from the left. I do have TID. I do have TID. I do have T name. I have T name even over here. I do have a DID. I do not again have a DID over here because that common thing that is already displayed in the beginning. So, DID, I do not repeat over here after TID, T name. After that, I do have T salary, which comes as T salary over here. So this is how the columns are aligned when you do a natural. Let us look into the entries. We are very clear about how the columns happened. The common thing comes first, and then all the other remaining things without a repetition. Now look here. You have commerce, CS, civil, EC, mech, and bio. Okay, but if you look here, some things are missing. You do not get a commerce. You are not getting a bio, and you are not also getting a CS. Commerce is missing, CS is missing, and even my bio is missing. Okay, if you look here, you have only civil, EC, and mech. Let's wait. We'll find it out why it did happen. Now, if you look over here, look at the people. I do have Renu, Ram, Shyam, Sona, and Reena. If you look here, Minnie and Julie, they are missing. Okay, in this particular result which we got, we do not have Minnie and Julie. The same way, we do not have commerce, CS, and bio. Now let us analyze the result. Now, when you do a natural join, what happens is the not null entries are only taken, or I can tell in other words, the null entries are avoided. Natural join, the null entries are avoided. Now let us find out what do you mean by a null entry. Let's find out what do you mean by a null entry. Let's come back to our table. Now look here. If you look into the department table, take this commerce, 6 commerce. Okay, commerce is 6. It is connected to my teacher table. I've done a join between my department and teacher. Now look here, in my teacher table, do I have any entry called 6? In my teacher table, I do not have an entry called 6. So, the 6 is an entry which does not have a corresponding entry. I treat it as a null entry. Okay, let's go for the next one, CS. Okay, check in your DID second table whether you have any 1. I don't have any 1. So, 1 CS, I treat it as a null entry because it doesn't have a corresponding entry in my other table. So that is null. Civil, check whether you have an entry called 2. Yeah, I do have an entry called 2. So 2 civil is a not null, it is taken. 3, I do have an entry called 3. So 3 is also taken. Check for 4. I do have an entry called 4. So that is also taken. The same way, look over here. I have 5. I do not have a 5 over here. So, 6 commerce, 1 CS, and 5 bio, they are treated as null entries simply because they do not have a corresponding entry in my other table. So they are not considered in my natural join. Let's come to my second table. Okay, Mini. Does Mini have a DID? Okay, Mini is a teacher, agreed. But Mini just joined, might be Mini just joined. Mini has not been assigned a department. Here it is a null value. So very simple. Mini is considered, this particular record is considered as a null entry. It does not find place in my natural join. So, Mini doesn't come over here. Julie, she also doesn't have a DID. So I consider her as a null entry. Julie doesn't find space in my natural join. Ram, yeah, he's got an entry called 2. Renu has an entry called 2. Shyam has an entry called 3. Reena 4. Sona 4. Okay, so all those entries only, they come over here. So this is what you mean by a natural join. You combine these two tables, you take a combination of both these tables, but you are avoiding the null values. I have 3 null values over here and 2 null values over here. That does not find place in my natural join. So instead of writing the query like this, you can even write it like this. It is all one and the same. Instead of writing a natural join, you can simply write join. Let's see. We'll come this side. Okay, natural. Okay. They're telling that you should be having natural. So you will also do it with natural. Don't avoid that join. Have that keyword called natural. In some versions of SQL, you need not write the word natural. Join directly will work. Okay, so this is how a natural join will work. The not null entries are only taken. The null entries are avoided. The second join which we have is inner join. So now let's see, what do you mean by an inner join? Now I'll just take the same diagram again. Okay, imagine you do have 2 tables, A and B. Now inner join means the common portion, only the common portion. Let's see, what do you mean by a common portion? So, if you look here, you have 2 tables, A and B. So this inside portion, like if you think in mathematically, A intersection B. Okay. So this inside portion, you call it the inner join. If you remember, your natural join was all this together. Your inner join is just this portion. Now, if you look over here, it avoids the only A portion and only B portion. So let's look into your table. Let's look into our table. We do have a department table in which, we already saw that commerce, CS, and bio, they are not related to anything. And over here, my Minnie and Julie, these people are also not connected to anything. So I'll just take numbers 1, 6, and 5. So in my table A, the entries 1, 6, and 5, they are not having a corresponding entry. Okay. Now, if I look into my teacher table, Minnie and Julie, I just take the numbers of Minnie and Julie so that I need not have a typing. Moreover, that is the primary key. So, 44 and 98. So, in my B table, I do have my 44 and 98. Okay, my B only portion. So, all the portion other than my A, which is null 165, and other than my B, which is 44 and 98, that will be my inner join. So let's see how you write inner join in your SQL. Now, when you write inner join, you should be using a keyword called on, O-N. Okay. Now, natural join, you need not write any keyword. In inner join, you have to be writing a keyword called on. And even when you do your outer join, you should be using a keyword called on. So natural join, you need not write the keyword. Inner join and outer join, you should be using the keyword called on. So let's see, what do you mean by the on keyword? Okay, so I'll write over here my query, select star from table A, inner join, B, this is the syntax, on. You will be using a keyword called on. Now, what do you write over here? You will be writing the related field. Like, let's say in A, you have a field called DID, which is the primary key. And in B, you do have a field which is DID, which is the foreign key. So, on this on portion, you will be writing the relationship between the primary key and the foreign key. Okay, so when you do the natural join, you need not do it. You need not write the on keyword. If you remember, I told you SQL, your Oracle, it automatically finds out in natural join which is the primary key, which is the foreign key. So you need not write it in natural join. Okay, this inner join and outer join, they have a bit of lesser common sense. So you need to implicitly tell them which is it, which are the connections, which is the primary key, which is the foreign key, with the help of the on. So I'll come back. So this is how we write it. Select star from first table, inner join second table, and you should be writing the connections. So let us write our query. Let us write our table. Select, you can either give select star from, or I'll just write which are my tables. I do have department DEPT and teacher. Okay, so I just want to find out what are the department names of each teacher. So I'll write select D name, comma, T name from my department one table, inner join, teacher one table. Okay, because I'm using my inner join, I should be writing the on query. Okay, I should be writing the on, which are the connecting things. I'll write it like this. I'll use aliasing, department 1 D, teacher 1 T. Okay, D dot, T dot, using aliasing on, D dot, come back to my table, which are the connecting fields, D dot DID and T dot TID. So I write D dot DID equal to T dot TID. I'll copy this, I'll put it that side. Okay, so I get civil, Renu, civil, Ram, EC Sham. I'll just do a checking. Let's check whether Renu belongs to civil. Renu, she belongs to 2 is civil. Ram also belongs to civil. Shyam, 3 EC. Okay, so I will not be getting mini Julie. Why will I not be getting mini Julie? Because they are not portions of my table. They are outside. Mini Julie, they are outside. Okay, I will even not be getting my commerce CS bio, because they do not have a corresponding entry. they do not have a corresponding entry. Okay, commerce, CS, and bio, they don't have a corresponding entry. So in my inner join, I will not be getting them. The same way you can even do like this, select star. Okay, so when you do a select star, the output is almost similar to your natural join. If you look in your natural join, DID, DNAME, budget, check the number of fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have one field more. Look here. This is the difference. Natural join, what happens is the common is written first, and then you have my DNAME budget. I have my PID, TNAME, DID. I don't repeat it again. DID, I do not repeat it again because it is already the first field, the common field, and then I do it. But in my inner join, what happens is that first table, the first table, department table, that is taken as it is. Okay. My second table, it is taken again as it is. I do not do a filtering based on my common thing. But when you remember natural join, the common is written first. The remaining portion of your first table, second table, the remaining portion leaving away DID. But when you do an inner join, it's like, the common things only they are taken, but you do have an unwanted repetition over here for your DID. This comes followed by this. So this is the difference between a natural join and inner join. Inner join, you should be writing a condition. Let's try to do an inner join without a condition. Okay. So, I copy this. I'm not having this condition. I'm finishing off my query over here. I'll copy this from here. Copy. Let's come back. I'll come over here. I'll put this. Telling you should be using missing keyword. That is after this teacher table, they are expecting more. They are expecting more things. So, your inner join will not work without an on condition. You should be giving an on condition if you are planning to do an inner join. Now, we'll go into the third kind of join called outer join. Now, this outer join, it is of three types. You say left outer join, left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. Outer join is three types. Left outer join, or it is even simply known as left join. Left join. Right outer join is known as right join. Simply right join. Okay. So these are the three kind of categories for outer join. Now we'll see the first one, left outer join. Okay, left outer join, as I also told you, left outer join means it is even known as left join. You simply can write in your query left outer join or either left join. Now, if you look into the picture, I have two tables, table 1 and table 2. In left outer join, what happens is the portion of table 1 is taken and the portion of table 2 which happens to fall in table 1, that is also taken. So let's see how it happens. So this is how you write the query. Select whatever star from A, you have a table 1, left outer join B on. You should have a condition called on in your outer joins. A dot, let's say, did is equal to B dot did. We'll do queries on a table later. Okay, so this is the syntax for left outer join. You can either write left outer join or simply join. Both will work perfectly. So this is the way in which you write left outer join. Now, just like left outer join, we'll learn both of that together. Then only you will get the difference. What is the difference between a left and a right outer join? You even have a right outer join. Now, this is how a right outer join will look like. You have a table 1 and you even have a table 2. Right outer join will give you the result in green. All of table 2 plus the portion of table 1 which is connected to table 2. So this is how you write the query. Select whichever field you want. From A, instead of left, you write right outer join B. The condition on should be there. On A dot did is equal to B dot did, whichever is there. Just like, when you're connecting two tables, you write where foreign primary key of the first table is equal to foreign key of the first table. Instead, here you're using the keyword called on. So let's see how you work it on your tables. So, I've got two tables over here. Select star from DEPT1, and I even have another table. Select star from teacher 1. Okay, now look here. Department, always keep in mind you do not have entries for commerce, CS, and bio. Okay, you do not have entries for commerce, CS, and bio. In teacher, Minnie and Julie, even though they are teachers, they have not assigned any department. So keep these two things in mind. Keep this 3 entries over here and this 2 entries over here in mind. And now let us write the query. Let us write the query. We'll do the first one, left outer join. Okay, so I'm going to write the query. I'll just copy what I have before. On, we deleted away the on over there. No? Okay, so select star from on. D dot did is equal to T dot tid. We'll not give a select star, it gets too confused. I'll just give T dot D dot D name, comma, D dot did, comma, D dot D name, T dot T name. Okay. Yeah, it is T dot T name, did, D name. Okay. So let's see how you're not inner join, we are doing left outer join, isn't it? Control C, we are doing left outer join. So, let's see how this query will give you the answer. I'm now doing a left outer join between my department table and my teacher table. Let's see what happens. Copy. I come here. I'll paste. Okay, look here. Left outer join. I told you to remember, no? Commerce, bio, CS. They don't have an entry. They don't have an entry. But, left outer join, even these things will come. Why does it come? Because, the whole of my table 1 is taken. The whole of my table 1 is taken. What is my table 1? My table 1 is department. So the whole of that table is taken. The whole of that, even though these 3 things, they do not have entries. I told you to remember these, isn't it? Commerce, CS, and bio, they do not have entries, but still, it is a left outer join. Left outer join means the whole of my table 1 is taken. regardless of whether it has a corresponding entry or not, the whole thing is taken. So, my commerce bio CS, that is also taken, plus what? The table 2, the corresponding entries which are matching to table 1. Okay, let's come here. Table 2. Table 2 is my teacher. The corresponding entries which match. Ram, Renu, Shyam, Reena, Sona, they match. These guys match. I told you to remember Minnie and Julie. Minnie and Julie, they do not have a corresponding entry in my department 1 table. So, Minnie and Julie, they do not come because, they do not have a corresponding entry. But these things, my commerce, CS and bio, they will very much come because they are components of my department table. Look into the diagram again, once again. All the portions of my table 1, regardless of whether they are related or not, all my portions of the left one, that is why it is called left outer join, plus the related portions of my table 2, you will get the difference when you do a right outer join. Okay, let's see how you do a right outer join. I'm doing the same thing. Instead, I am doing right outer join. I am doing a right outer join. I'll copy this. I'll come here. Now, before I type the query, I'll just see my entries once again. Department 1. I even have my teacher 1. Okay, now I'm pasting my query. Now look here, right outer join, what happens? All the entries in my table 2, all the entries in my table 2, regardless of whether it is connected, whether it is null, I'm not bothered. Look here, Minnie, Julie, this is my table 2, teacher 1. Minnie, Julie, they also come in because, they are portions in my teacher 1. I cannot simply, do away with them. Julie, Minnie comes, plus the entries in my first table, only the connected things. Commerce, CS and bio, they do not apply, they do not come over here. Only the things which have the corresponding entries in teacher 1, they come. Civil, EC, Mech did come. Commerce, CS and bio, they did not come. Why did they not come? Because they do not find the corresponding entry over here. So teacher 1, all the entries, even including Minnie, Julie, came in my right outer join because right outer join means everything in teacher 1, every entry in teacher 1, regardless of whether they are connected or not. All my entries in teacher 1 plus the corresponding entries in my department table. Okay, if you look into a left outer join, it is the reverse. Left outer join, exactly the reverse happens. All the entries in my table 1. What is my table 1 department? Commerce, CS, bio, they do not have entries, but still they came. But Minnie, Julie did not come because it is a left outer join. I'm giving priority to my left table, not to my right table. Now let's see something more. You have full outer join. You have full outer join. If you remember, I told in outer join, you have 3 types. Giving importance to the left table, left outer join. Giving importance to the table at the right, right outer join. And you even have something called full outer join. Full outer join is actually very interesting. It is actually a combination between your left outer join and the right outer join. Let's see how you write it. I'll just copy the same thing over here. Okay, in full outer join, you have a keyword called full outer join. You should be writing the on. You should be writing the on. If you remember, I told you outer join, you should be writing the on. All the outer joins, you should be writing the on. Even inner join, you should be writing. Look here, natural join, you need not write on. Inner join and outer join, you should be writing the on keyword. So I come back over here. We were doing my full outer join. So from A, full outer join B on A dot ID, B dot ID, the condition. So here instead of right, I will put full. Let's see the difference. Let's see what happens over here. I'll come back to my SQL Plus. I'll just take my tables again so that you understand it better. I have a department 1. I even have a teacher 1. Okay, so this is my entries. Now look here. I am going to do my full outer join. Okay, look here. Full outer join is the combination of my left outer join. Okay, look at the left outer join. All the department entries. All the department entries, even the null things come. Commerce, CS, bio, they come. Plus my right outer join. Right outer join is all the things which have an entry. Plus, look here, Julie Mini, they also come. Okay, Julie Mini, they did not have a corresponding entry. They came. That is my right outer join portion. Plus, look here, my commerce, CS, bio with the null entries, they also did come in. Okay, if you look into my right outer join, look at the right outer join. Julie Mini, they have a null entry that came. Julie Mini, that did come. Plus, look into my left outer join. Where is my left outer join? Okay, yeah, this is my left outer join. Left outer join, I do have commerce bio CS with nulls over here. Commerce bio CS with nulls over here. If you look into my full outer join, commerce, CS, bio, those have also come in. So I can give a very simple definition for my full outer join. Full outer join is nothing but my left outer join plus the right outer join. It can take in null values. It can take in null values. Your outer joins can always take in null values. Your left outer join, your right outer join, your full outer join, all of that can take in null values. So let's find out a small difference. Imagine you are doing a natural join. Okay, I'm doing a natural join. Okay, if you remember, natural join, you need not have the keyword on. Okay, look here. I'm doing a natural join. The same thing, the same table. Only thing is, I'm doing a natural join. Look here. Natural join, you need not give all this with the star. Okay, look here. In natural join, if you look carefully, it is actually a combination of A and B. Natural join is also a combination of A and B, but the difference is in natural join, you do not have null values. Natural join, you do not have null values, but in your full outer join, you can have null values. I'll just do a small more change over here. Full outer join. Okay, I'll just take everything so that the difference is much more clearer. Okay, full outer join. Okay, look. We can now study the difference between a natural join and a full outer join. If you remember, this is full outer join. A and B combined. If you look into the first diagram I gave you, natural join is also A and B combined. Natural join is A and B combined. Your full outer join is also A and B combined, but what is the difference? Let's learn the difference. Natural join is both A and B combined, but the first difference we learned with the help of the columns. DID, the common thing is coming first. Then I have D name, D budget. The second table, TID, tname, DID does not repeat. DID will not repeat because it's common over here. So that is avoided. That is avoided, and then I have my T salary. Look in full outer join. DID, dname, dbudget. And then next my whole table comes in. If you look into my second table, TID, name, DID, salary. All that is taken. Okay. Here you will have one field lesser because DID is taken as a common. DID is taken as common. Here you will have one field more because it is not taken as a common field. It is not taken as a common field. Now, why it is not taken as a common field? It is because the null values have to be taken care of. If you look into your natural join, it's so clean, the table. The table is so clean, you do not have null values in natural join. In full outer join, we very well know that it is a combination of a left outer join, which can have null, and your right outer join, which can have null. So look here, the full outer join, even though it is similar to your natural join, both the tables combined, it will have null values. Look here, commerce, it doesn't have a corresponding TID, tname, DID, T salary. CS also nobody is taken, no teacher has a entry. Bio also no teacher has an entry. Julie does not have a department entry. Mini, she does not have a department entry. So in full outer join, you can have null values. You will have null values. There is no corresponding entry. Full outer join can have null values. In natural join, it will not have null values. Natural join, you will have the common field first and then the remaining fields. In full outer join, even though you have a common field, it is not written first. Exactly as the table, the entries come in. Natural join, you need not write the on keyword. Oracle automatically takes it. In full outer join, because it is an outer join, you will have to write the on keyword.